been wait, before I do that, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a minute since I did an actual intro. Usually I just for the past videos I just started, but yeah, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back, and welcome if you're new here. Today it's been a minute also since I've done a sit down where I just talked without doing any vlogs, but I was like, let me do it because I wanted to share my thoughts on this book that I'm currently reading and how it possibly predicted why South Africa is currently the popular girl, and why she is in every major city's mouth and every artist's radar. So let's start. So this book is The Web of Light, a spiritual adventure by Diana Cooper. This book was published in 2004. So the first chapter, crazy enough, I was like, not even crazy enough. The first chapter basically talks about how these spiritually gifted people, they would be need to go to South Africa because there is about to be a birth of a white cub. And when I searched that cub, when was it born, thinking that maybe it was like done a long time ago, only to find out this white cub was born in 2026, in the early months of 2026. So it would be either Jan or Feb. There was no like particular date. They estimated during the early days of 2026. And I was like, wait a minute, did Hermo predict this? And I searched even before I went to, I think, chapter 2 or chapter 3, between those two chapters, even before I went even further, where they're giving in which resort in South Africa where this white cub was born. They even said it in the book. I searched it and it is legit the same resort that is in this book. Mind you, this book was published in 2004, okay? And I was like, it can't be a coincidence. It cannot be a coincidence. So the white cub basically represents the return of the Christ conscious. Now, if you're a Christian and you're here and you're thinking about, I'm talking about Jesus, the physical body, he was a real person. But, and for me, not gonna lie to you guys, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. It's kind of crazy for someone to tell you that not to worship him, and you literally do what he tells you not to do. But each to their own, okay? But basically what the Christ conscious mean, it means that thinking in purity, in the sense of being positive, being so confident, so having so much love, compassion, empathy, compassion, and respect and boundaries as well, while also sharing love and light and being just a ray of sunshine and just positivity. And I'm not talking about being a saint where you don't do sin things. No, that's not what I mean. I mean having a clear mind where you think positive, you operate in a positive state, you are aware of what you're saying to people and how it might impact on what you're saying to people. That is the Christ conscious. Yes, you do things, and also you do hold yourself accountable, and you do apologize for those things. So that is the Christ mind. So in this book, the birth of this white cub is to reactivate the line, the alignment line. So the alignment line, I'm gonna add the map somewhere here in the screen, because there is the map. I got like someone that literally had the line that is actually told in this book, where the line of alignment starts and where it ends. And crazy enough, it's not even crazy enough, because I do know South Africa is just spiritual places. Both any country in Africa, both any country around this planet is. So it would, yeah, well, so when I looked at the map, and I was like looking at the map trying to calculate these places. So this line of alignment starts in the pyramids of not the pyramids, the Sphinx, right? I think I'm saying it right. The Sphinx, and then it goes to the Nile River. Then from the Nile River, there is one destination that I am forgetting, and then from that destination it goes to the Great Zimbabwe, and then from the Great Zimbabwe it goes straight to Durban, right? And it explains why South Africa is gaining so much population. And mind you, South Africa was traveled before, but not by, it didn't have the media coverage that it has now. Okay, so the birth of this white cab really very much confirmed to the dark forces. I would say, yes, I would say the dark forces, because this is people that wants to keep the mass in a arrogant mindset where they do not seek out alignment in a sense of trying to better themselves and getting out of the system of Christianity, in the sense of not being controlled by Christianity and how it is used to control people. And a lot of people are questioning the structure of it, and they are saying that it does not really have good intentions for everyone. There are truth. One thing about it, there are truths in Christianity, because it has been extracted from the original books of enlightenment and knowledge of great artists and great priestess that had those wisdoms, and they made it into this book that is going to this religion that is going to be controlling people. And I'm not going to speak about Christianity alone. Every religion is very much controlling of its partakers and its people, and that is not me to tax it, that is for that individual too, but it's just basically what it is. Because I'm not gonna lie, it does not allow you guys to hold yourself accountable. It makes you not want to hold yourself accountable. That is to have accountability. That is why you find out that people that used to do the most heinous things, like the most hurtful things to people, they quickly turn back to being hardcore religious people, because they are trying to take responsibility of their action and put it to another entity, to another person. So yeah, but then my sister told me something, I think during the week, about how different institutes in Europe, university museums are bringing back the bodies of the sun. And I'm also going to, because I'm not really sure, but I'm sure I'm not really sure which tribes it is specifically, because it's not only the Sans, the Khoi Sans, that is, because she said to me that there's about like bodies of about 63 that have been returned to South Africa. Now I want to point out something to you guys, and I want to tell you something. One thing about white people, down. White people are warlords and witches. They know, especially ones that are in higher positions. And when I say in higher positions, the ones that govern countries, the ones that have institute that control what people eat and what people consume, which in terms of media. And already you get the idea where I'm just saying with this, right? Because why I say this is because when they were bringing these bodies back, right, as like African person, or any person that is really much into that is spiritual, or in culture, in any culture that is, I'm pretty sure maybe it was also in South America and in India, when a person deceased somewhere that is not home, their spirit is brought back. So the family would probably go to the place that person passed away at, call their name, call their lineage, and tell them like, look, we're taking you back home, we are placing you in this place of rest. When my sister told me that, I was like, God damn it, white people are witches and warlords, because you can't bring a body, because like, let me explain it how I see it, right? South Africa is getting this popularity all of a sudden, right? And one thing about South Africans, and one thing that I'm happy about them, and like being associated, not even associated, but one thing I'm very proud about South Africans is that in moments of hardship, in mentally, physically, they always have a good time and they produce good music at the time. And if you look at South Africans' music for the past years, great, right? And it just is an indicator that those people are going back to self, okay? So when you bring bodies that you did not bring any healers from those tribes to go fetch those spirits of those people, because these people were put on display and used as humiliation rituals. And I want you guys to have a thought. If they bring these bodies without any healer that went there to fetch those spirits, and they bringing these bodies to J, and with the South African flag, mind you, those people were not, when they were taken in South Africa, they did not leave with the South African flag. There was no South African flag. The South African flag was created after the segregation and the oppression that they had in South Africa. So there is no really symbol or a cloth that's representing their true authentic self, because we know the Khoisan people wear certain traditional attires, and they have a certain way of representing their authentic selves and connecting with their ancestry. So when you're gonna bring a South African flag, what is the South African doing? It just shows after, and those people were taken way before, okay? And I know for a fact that they did some certain rituals, and even before we even say that, they're gonna do a ritual on this 3rd of April, which is it's a full moon. It's also Easter. Oh, and I know for a fact, if you don't know, I know for a fact, maybe you don't not believe it, but if you're someone that travels on the road in South Africa during like the festive seasons, you know there are always stories of people saying that, oh, they saw a ghost on the roads and saw a spirit on the road and it caused this accident. It's spirits of people that were not fetched by their family from the places where they passed on. They just buried them without going to fetch the soul. And one thing about it, the soul will be linked to a place until you go fetch it. So if you have a soul that is in Egypt and a body in South Africa, what do you think? And also you don't know what rituals were done for those before these bodies came back to this continent. So what makes you think that when these bodies come back here without the proper steps being taken for them to be brought back here? Like, what? It couldn't, like, what? Okay, but I don't want to focus on the bad. I don't really want to focus on the bad. I just want to spread light. Honestly, I don't. But like, it's another thought that people need to actually keep in mind, is that these people are do things intentionally, and because of lack of, and not understanding per se, like because of lack of information, lack of resources, lack of knowing, and so much detachment from traditional knowledge, people don't know. People just see things as just, oh, they don't have symbolics and they don't have, everything has meaning. Trust me. And I'm not gonna say if you do, I don't like fear mongering, but it's the certain things that we need to keep in mind when your process of you sharing the love and sharing love. Know that, look, I'm sharing this because I do not want certain things to go forward and to succeed, okay? So in this book, it explains basically how the web of light is connected with the things, with the pyramid, with the Bungruma tribe, and also like with animals, with plants and everything. Also, this book also talks about the wisdom of Atlantic and why certain things are the way they are. And it is a great work if for someone that is starting into spirituality, I would say, because it gives you a kind of like a guide, not even a guide, kind of like hints and symbols that, look, you reincarnated in this world to raise again the vibration of Mother Earth, because of the so much fear and so much anger and so much violence and so much confusion and negativity that has been spread around this world, you have reincarnated back here again to love, to share love and be love again, and to do things with so much love and so much compassion that you also need to hold, not hold, I can't say hold people accountable. You need to also boundaries, not only with yourself but also with others. Like I was watching, like yesterday I was watching one of my okay, not even one of my videos, like my earlier videos, and I was like, Ingismat, clever down, it was Damela. Oh my god, am I isolating? Like, am I isolating? Because I am a god. I'm like, nah, bruh, like, and some of the things that I say sometimes, it's not that I don't trust, my intuition is hella strong. It's not that I don't trust them. It's just like, oh, you said that. And like looking back at it, it's like some things are so unreal. Like, because I was like, I am love and I choose to love, and I realized with a certain, it plays part on how certain behaviors that I did when I was young, I do, and how I was giving out to people and how I was interacting with certain people. It was out of love, and sometimes maybe it was too much for certain people, that it triggered and it made them irritated and treat me some type of way. But also I did not know when to stop, and also because of their lack of communication, they weren't able to be like, oh, whoa, you're overdoing it, can you back off, leading to painful things happening. But like now I'm like, you know what, I forgive you, because I also didn't know I was overstepping. However, I will hold you accountable because I was hurt, you hurt me, there was a better way of doing it. But since you are also not able to, or you're not able to do or use that source, that way of communication, the best thing that I could do is distance myself, because we are hurting each other. I think I did say this at some point, but on one of my videos, but it really goes back to that. When you do go back to love, and you love and you share yourself with so much love, is that a lot of people think you are ignorant, you are delusional, you are gullible, you are just naive. You're just naive, when in actuality you're not. You understand that there's so much happening and so much negativity that is happening around this world, that the love that I share makes a difference. You might not see it because you're so much clouded with so much that is happening, and even clouding your mind, and you're not trusting also yourself, that you're gonna try to project that on me, because I am reminding your soul its purpose here. And it's not only making you uncomfortable, it's making you react, because your nervous system is going awry on you. It's going crazy on you, because this person is triggering you. Not, I don't like when using triggering, but this person is projecting a essence of you that you have neglected for so long. So like with this book is teaching that with everything is happening, you need to have so much not so much you need to connect with your soul purpose and why you came here, and are you happy with what you're producing out currently. And if you're not, you get to have the opportunity, you get to have the opportunity while you're still here to operate in that love and light and a beautiful positive mindset. I know sometimes, especially when you're around people that have always gaslighted you into thinking that you are not that, because they're trying to project their own thoughts, their own feelings and their own values on you. But sometimes it's hard. Like even that, I'm sometimes like now I'm going through it, but I'm like, you know what, that's not me, and I'm not gonna interact. You're not gonna get a reaction out of me. And I remember, I not even remember, I posted a video, I think on my Instagram on Thursday, and then on my TikTok on Friday, yesterday in the early hours, just like saying that in the moments of your season of winter, when you're shedding and letting go, around you it's gonna show, because your energy in your spirit is purifying and it's letting go. And the people that are around you, if you don't have the privilege to move, or yeah, to move or not be in another place, the people around you are going to try to trigger you, because you are trying something that they have not done before. And you need to, not even you need to, you need to keep yourself and reassure yourself. Sometimes even when it's hard, you need to reassure yourself, like, you know what, I do not want to lash out. You're not going to get that reaction out of me, because people do enjoy and get so much energy from you when you lash out. And the best thing that you can do and be like, I'm not gonna react at all. The more you're trying to get a reaction out of me, the more I'm just gonna regulate myself, the more I'm just gonna be around nature, the more I'm gonna, like, this week, I think last week and this week, I was like playing, I was playing games I used to play during my childhood. I even posted it on my TikTok today. What I've been like, what I do instead of being on social media a lot, and I just be like, and just be in the moment and just have fun, and just fun in the chaos of everything. And I'm like, you know what, I can't be taking people's responsibilities. You want something, you need to hold it, you need to take the responsibility of what you want, and not expect that responsibility to be taken up by another person. So yeah, this book, Shem, I like it so much. There's the other books that are here at home of this lady, two more books, and I am going to be reading those books after this book. But this book has really shown that I was just like, I think I did say in some of my books that, oh yeah, on one of my videos, my vlogs, that on another book that I was reading, that there are certain things that I was doing because my intuition was just telling me to do, and I was just doing those things. And when I read books like these, it just makes me like, oh my god, you really are in tune with your intuition. Like, it just, the unexpected confirmation that, oh, you're actually on the right path, because you have books of spiritual gurus talking about this. And I've been doing these things even before I read these books, and it makes me like happy that I'm actually in tune, I'm actually listening to my intuition. And it makes me so proud that in the midst of everything I continue to connect with my intuition, and it's really is. And yeah, honestly, like, with this book, right, what I will say though is that in the world where negative thoughts, and I also do want to say, hell and heaven is not a place that you're going to be going to after you pass away. No, it is, or is, heaven and earth, heaven and hell is in this planet with us. It is your state of mind. Hell is when you have negative thoughts about you, when you operate in jealousy, belittling, bitterness, and projection, like, and also hate, not only with others but also with yourself. And the way I deal, I would say, with jealousy is, I would ask myself, I would ask myself, why do I feel that way with that person? And for me, because certain people don't have this thinking, and sometimes people are so ignorant enough to actually and learn certain patterns with their mind, so that they can actually be content with themselves. Is why once I ask myself a question, is as to why do I feel that way towards a person, and why do I feel jealous with that person. And then I'm like, okay, I'm jealous maybe because they have this thing and I want this thing, and also maybe they have this thing and they're not using how I would use this thing, and I would be like, okay, then why? That's, and then I would be like, well, another thing you need to keep in mind, Zoleto, is that you're not that person, and there's a reason why that person is experiencing that, because also you do not know how that person got that, and you can't want someone to experience something like how you would experience it, because they are not you, they are them, and that's the unique part of that with them. So yeah, that's how you let go of jealousy and envy, because you get to understand that, okay, because had that person has been operating in how you oh, if that person was doing it how you were doing it, don't you think that you would begin be jealous and envious of that person, because you're like, you kind of like copying me. You know what I mean? You're gonna be irritated and envious about you. They're doing it so perfectly well. You get it without you actually learning that, okay, since this person, like, it's like with, even when people in positions that they're in positions that you want to be in, you can be like, okay, this person is in this position, but this person is not doing this position how I would be doing this position. The best way you could do is actually work, not, yeah, put in the work, put it in, align align yourself with how you would do, and actually embody that and be that in that position that you want, and that position will come to you, and you can be what you want to be in that position. And one thing about the human mind, you will be content with that, and once you fulfill that, the human mind wants to grow, especially when you allow it to be active. It will want to grow, so you will experience it and have fun. That is why it's also important to have fun in the process of you aligning yourself with that position, or with that idea, with that career, with that art, with that, whatever you want to pursue. If you, I really truly said this in that video, that if you want to be a, like, for me, I want to be a model. For me, I have an idea of how I want to be when I want to be a model. I don't want to be sticking into the norms of what a model would be, because I I am my own person. I'm a individual, like, I'm a different, I am a unique being. Like, there's only one Zulu Tundambikwana that you would ever meet in this lifetime. Do you get what I mean? I can call me a Dindedra. So I want things to be uniquely me. So I have kind of cultivated a way that I see myself with that position, and how I want to, um and how I'll probably act, or how I would dress in that position. I am currently dressing how I would dress in that current position. I am talking the way I would be talking in that current position. I am thinking in the way that I will be, no, and the way that I would think in that current position. I am doing things that would align me with that position, right? So it's the same thing with anything that you want to do, and do it so much love and so much grace. And sometimes there are people that want you to will want you to be so angry, and when I get that type of with me, because a lot of people would try to be like, oh, where's Andoni, like, what are you doing, what you're doing doesn't make sense. And like, for me, I learned, and I'm learning discernment, yes, with certain people and certain comments. Like, I can't, like, one thing about it, like, when you comment something to me, or if someone comments something that I'm doing, trying to make me feel like insecure about that, I ask myself, this person is not pursuing themselves. There's a reason why they projected that to me. So why would I allow someone that is not pursuing themselves put me down for me pursuing what I want with myself and with my being? You get, and you just, and then I'm just like, you know what, I'm not gonna allow you to do that, but I am sending love and light, for you to connect that with that part of you, instead of you finding it so easy to project that on me. It is easy, basically. If you're not a doer, you'll be a sayer. So I just allow sayers to be sayers, and I do what I do because I know what I'm doing is aligning me with what I want. And you realize when you keep when you keep your mouth shut, when you keep your mouth shut, a lot of people one-sided projections of you. Like, you will be doing nothing at all. Like, you will be doing shit. Like, you wouldn't like you won't like I don't know how to say, like, sitting doing shit, like just connecting with, like, just hiking a tree, just heading to the garden, and just being quiet and just listening to music, and just be like, you know what, let me pause you from my presence, and you just stay by yourself, and a person will still find something, will still try to find something. Like, that confuses me so much, especially now. Like, it confuses me, but then I'm like, you know what, a lot of people, and it's not even with the people around you, it's basically with even social media and every part, like social media, business, selling, everything. If you do not have a person's attention, you can't do nothing to them. If you don't have, like, if you actually realize, if you were to minus, not talk to people that bring you down, and just keep to yourself and just tend to other things and that make you happy, and you will see that people will come up with absurd things to say about you, and assume crazy things, trying to get a reaction out of you so that you're able to give them attention again. And attention is a very powerful currency, and that attention is the same attention that brands, food brands, corporations, businesses have on people. Is that you have this particular, like, let me make an example, you have this particular artist that you like, that you listen to. They are so, certain brands would partner up with that artist, so that the community or the people that support that artist are able to buy what they're selling. And because you like that person or you like that artist, and you see how they flaunt, or how they make this product so fun and so them, and you feel like, since it's accessible to you, it would give you access to that person, or it will grant that person's attention, you go buy that. And that's how, like, everything is attention. Like, attention is the biggest currency that has more value than money, because without the attention of people, physical money won't like go nowhere. If we actually decide that, okay, if I were to minimize this and this and this and this and this, and not over consume, you would understand it and actually be content. And I think it was like, I think I said it on my last video, is that with the last job that I had on my other previous videos, with my last job, I literally got to learn the psychological understanding, like the psychological information or knowledge of selling something to a person, that you have to have their attention. And once you have their attention, you have so much control over them. You can then, to keep their attention, push this narrative, not even push this narrative, but make them feel heard, seen, and appreciated. Once you make them feel those emotions, and they also have community, because people always look for community in everything. And once you allow them to feel those emotions, trust, you have those people for life. Because there are certain, if you were to look back and look at the brands that you support, and look at those things that you support, you will see that if you are not getting this, maybe you won't be getting the validation that you're getting from the outside. You get what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie, I won't sit here and think I was not once a victim of consumerism. I was. I I was and I am with certain things, you get what I mean? Because I enjoy, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy the sense of comfortability that certain things bring me, and which is why when you are, as a being, when you are purchasing something or purchasing a service, you need to feel that appreciation, that community that is being built there, that hospitality that is being given there. And with this attention that South Africans, I remember, there's a video I said on my TikTok where I were with my one thing with my social media platforms, and I want to teach my people, which is South Africans, that they are entitled, yes, to also good things, not to good things. They do not have to work so hard. They don't need to go to university to get this certain luxuries and this certain services and this certain, oh, have this amount of money to be able to get basic service delivery. No, it's because of how little you South Africans have thought about themselves that the state of service delivery in this country is the way it is because you guys rather stay with the bare minimum than actually wanting more for yourself and actually finding more for yourself. And I did say in my previous videos how on my previous videos that yeah, that for me it was actually an eye-opening thing that I saw with working with the US market and the UK market, and how entitled those people can be and are to certain services. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. To some extent, especially when they're bratty about it, it's gonna be bad because, okay, you kind of be a brat, you're not understanding, not everything's gonna work out, but I understand you and I hear you. But what I'm saying is that basic services, because of it being like, oh, at least, because like South Africans, they had this thing of saying, at least they took us out of apartheid. They're doing much better than what we were getting. Yeah, they are, but they can actually do much better. Like that is why now the school system is not in favor of the South African kid. I'm not saying that other Africans are not like are not of should not get that service. No, but so if they have the privilege to go want that also in their own country. However, I'm not gonna be tone deaf and be like, because some countries in Africa are not okay to stay with, but then it's because of the same mentality of not wanting to be a hero and wanting another person to be a hero, and without you even knowing, putting someone that is so against you as a black person, and because you're not aware that person actually hates themselves for being black. Like it's literally the same thing that's happening with South Africa now. Cyril Ramaphosa hates the fact that he's black, and that stems to the apartheid and the inequality that they were getting, and the lack of confidence that man has with himself. Because everything sometimes certain decisions are made because of the lack of confidence people have with themselves. Like with Cyril, that man hates the fact that he's black, and it didn't help the fact that he was like born during a period of apartheid, or he experienced apartheid, because he hated the fact that just because he's black, he has to experience this. And because of that conditioning that it was in apartheid, that because of your black, you're experiencing that as if you deserve to be treated like that. No. And Robert Siboko basically says, oh, he walked that. Oh, that man worked it, he preached it, he wrote it, that you are deserving of more. You are actually more without you having to do disservice to your own kind because of pain of hate that you have for yourself. And literally these things are happening because we have a president that hates his blackness so much that he does not care about other black individuals. And there's a video that I posted also on my TikTok where I was like, with the ANC, it is plain and obvious that they were not fighting for all South Africans. And that's also, and also now in South Africa there is the inquiry of the Craddock 4. Like, I want to say, I'm not justifying Inkatha, but Inkatha was killing each and every part of any other party that is the ANC because they knew and they saw that the ANC were allies of the whites, that they were only fighting for the educated blacks or the Ku blacks, so that because the Ku blacks are not fighting for a liberation of the rest of Africans or South Africans, they actually just want proximity to whiteness. And when you want proximity to whiteness, you also want a slave because you want a person that's going to be working for you. You do not care, but you want the privilege because you hate the fact that you were born black. So you want to be white so much that you will fight for that. And for me, Shem, one person that actually saw it firsthand and had to endure that pain is Winnie Madikizela. Oh, Winnie Shem. Oh, Mama Winnie went through a lot, and it's sad, and it shows on how she was constantly disrespected by the African Congress so much, yet she was fighting in the name of that because of the love that she had. She was fighting through, like, she was fighting for the liberation of her people, in a sense, tapping into her love because she loved that man only for that man to be a market. There's a reason why ANC was given so much praise, and also there's a reason why a lot of people within the ANC passed away, because the people that passed away in the ANC were people that were actually trying to liberate the whole of South Africa and not just educated blacks. And that is why you have the Craddock 4, is because the Craddock 4 was not fighting for educated blacks. They were actually trying to liberate the entire South Africa. And the reason why Inkatha was just killing any African Congress member is because they realized that there are spies within the African National Congress, so they can't trust anyone, even the ones of their own skin. And I'm not being insensitive in the sense of, because they killed innocent people as well in the mix of that. But also, I want you guys to have this in mind, that they were not sure who was against them and who was with them. And the reason why they were also painted so much with so much violence, because they needed a villain. There needs to be a villain to stories, and that's how people operate. That there has to be, actually not even people operate, it's negative and positive. Negative has to be there so that you learn from the negative to be better, right? But how it has been manipulated, not only in the media and in everything, and even religion and in the way of life in this planet, it's crazy. So nje, yay, it's like, it's so. And I pray and I meditate and I send so much love and so much light to South Africans, that they realize even before they are slaves in their own country. It's so sad. It's even sad because now, like, it starts small. Like, things start small. You see, like in the Island, in Kompa, I hope I'm saying it correctly because Kokompo. Is it? I think so. But in Mont, there was a video where there's this Nigerian, because that's pure disrespect. Honestly, that's pure disrespect with not okay, pure disrespect, and it also shows that how our government system is when it comes to our traditions, because how can, even back in the day, if I'm being honest, where there was territory wars between the Zulus and the Xhosas, and also with like also with the Swatis and the Zulus, and also with different tribes, yes, for territory, for until they can migrate to another place. However, it's crazy this one showed me how less protected our traditions are as South Africans, and how we also don't appreciate our traditions. And it's so heartbreaking to see that. And I'm not gonna fault people that actually preserve and actually celebrate their traditions and their cultures. And because of South Africans being so whitewashed, the way of sharing, okay, the only way of having a view or sharing their thought on something is to be xenophobic. Our cultures by this institute of the South African Republic. And it's crazy because and I can't even say it's crazy because each and every country in Africa that went through severe poverty, you see it in the president that they had. And now I am seeing it with this president that we have. And it's kind of crazy, and it's kind of not even crazy. It's like a sad thing to see it in real time, how certain countries in Africa turned to be the way they turned, and now South Africa is turning to the same thing. And it was so easy for them is because a lot of South Africans are so so whitewashed, and they want to be so close to whiteness, that to the not even white supremacy, insecurity, that they are letting go of their identity to be close to another person's identity, not knowing they are then lashing into lack of confidence with self. And it's sad, and it's actually sad. I can only send love and light, because when you are lack confidence within you and your identity, you don't really, you will you do to some extent, to some like degree, operate in love, but not in its full potential purity. You get, it is always expected with something in return, not the purest form of it. But yeah, you see how a random book just speaks about something, and how layered it is. Everything is layered and everything is connected. And the only thing I would say is connect with nature, connect with the elements, connect with yourself, connect with your inner being. When your inner child, have that relationship with that child. Remember all her moments of happiness. Remember all of his moments of happiness. Remember the times that this kid made promises to be better, to do better, and just be fun. If you remember that, you will then not find it easy, but it will you will see ways or signs opening up to you, in ways of connecting back to that inner being of you and that sole purpose of you. So yeah, roughly that's what I wanted to say in this book, about this book, because it's basically linked to that. And it goes back to me saying that if you are South African and you're watching this, please be informative, because we are going to be having, I think, not the provisional elections. Be mindful who you not even, yeah, be mindful of which party you elect as a ruling party of your province. Be a party that it is for the people and by the people, and learn. I can't say go and vote for this party. No, have actually understand their manifesto if it aligns with your values and your morals. And at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie, we somewhere ruled by people that don't have their nervous system regulated. Yes, and that they don't I mean, not, I can't say align, they don't they don't really much know how to act when they receive certain money. I did make a video about this. I'm not sure which video it is, but yeah, but I did make a video about that. We just have to trust and send love and faith and just appreciation whoever runs this country.